Hey yo, welcome to the channel for my UEFA Champions League group stage round 5 predictions. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the first people to be notified. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into it one time. Yes, and the first game is between Lazio from Italy versus Celtic. Going to this game at this stage, I think Lazio in their previous games, they haven't been all that impressive. So going to this game is going to be a tough game compared to Celtic. We all know Celtic cannot qualify from this group, but going to this game, going away, I think Lazio have the upper hand to win this game. So I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Lazio. Lazio 2, Celtic 1. Yes, moving on to the next game, Shahktar Donetsk from Ukraine versus Royal Antwerp. Going to this game, Shahktar Donetsk in their previous game against Barcelona, they were able to beat Barcelona at their home grounds by 1-0. And going to this game, I think Shahktar Donetsk have the upper hand over Royal Antwerp. That's why going to this game is a tough game for both sides. I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Shahktar Donetsk. Shahktar Donetsk 3, Royal Antwerp 1. Moving on to the next game is between AC Milan from Italy against Borussia Dortmund from Germany. Going to this game is a tough game for both clubs despite their last game ended in a draw, and going to this game is a tough match. If AC Milan want to qualify or if Borussia Dortmund want to qualify from this group, this is a must-win game for both clubs. And going to this game, I'm predicting a draw. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw. Borussia Dortmund 1, AC Milan 1. Moving on to the next game is between FC Barcelona versus FC Porto from Portugal. Going to this game, I think Porto are the favorite to qualify alongside with FC Barcelona. So going to this game, I think it will be a tough game for Porto going to Camp Nou at this time, group stage round 5. I think this is the best time so that they can, even if Porto end up losing this game, in their last game, if they win, they qualify to the next round. So going to this game, I'm predicting Barcelona to win by 2-1. Barcelona 2, FC Porto 1. Moving on to the next game is between Feyenoord from Netherlands versus Atletico Madrid from Spain. I think going to this game, in their previous game, looking at Atletico, I think Atletico this season hasn't been all that terrible, but going to this game, it's a tough game against this giant club from Netherlands. I think it's a tough game for Atletico. So going to Netherlands, I think Atletico will try their possible best to at least earn a point from this game. So my prediction for this game is Feyenoord 2, Atletico 2. Yes, I'm moving on to the next game is between Manchester City versus RB Leipzig. Manchester City, so far so good. They have qualified to the next round and they want additional team that will join them alongside with Man City. And I think RB Leipzig is the best opponent, which I think will qualify with Manchester City. So going to this game, that's why I'm predicting a win for Man City. I still think this game will be a decent result. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Man City. City 2, RB Leipzig 1. Yes, and the next game is between Paris Saint-Germain versus Newcastle United. When Newcastle hosted Paris in England and the match ended in a 4-1 victory, Newcastle had their full squad fit. But going to this game, they have 14 key players who are now in injury. Some are now coming back from injury. So going to this game to be a tough game for Newcastle United. But facing Paris in this round 5, I think it's a tough game. And to predict this game, I'm going for a 3-1 win for Paris Saint-Germain. Paris 3, Newcastle United 1. Yes, and the next game is between Young Boys versus Crvena Zvezda. I think in their group, if you look at Manchester City and RB Leipzig are the favorite to qualify from this group. And going to this game, I think Young Boys playing home too will play a key role in this game. But I think Crvena Zvezda too, they haven't been bad at all. And going to this game, I'm predicting a draw game. Crvena Zvezda 1, Young Boys 1. Moving on to the next game is between Galatasaray versus Manchester United. Looking at their group, Bayern Munchen has already qualified to the next round, so it's left with one team which will join him. Also, I think looking at their group, the favorite team to qualify among this team is either Galatasaray or even Copenhagen, because the odds for Manchester United to qualify from this group is very, very little, and it will take a magic or a miracle for Manchester United to qualify to the next round. Despite they are at the bottom of the group and going to this game against Galatasaray, I think Galatasaray playing home too will play a key part in this game. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Galatasaray. Galatasaray 2, Manchester United 1. Moving on to the next game is between Sevilla versus PSV. We all know Sevilla in UEFA Champions League are not that good. They don't impress in the UEFA Champions League. But when it comes to the Europa League, they are the masters of Europa League. They have won it more than any other club in Europe. And going to this game, I think they will play in a manner that they are going to end the third place in this group. And looking at the odds, I think going to this game, I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Sevilla. Sevilla 2, PSV 1. Yes, and moving on to the other game is between Arsenal versus Lens. Arsenal in their group, I think they are doing well despite they are on top of their group, and I think they are going to be group leaders, and they need other clubs that will join them into the next round. And I think Lens is the best club that can join Arsenal in the next round. So going to this game, I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Arsenal 2, Lens 2. Moving on to the next game is between Bayern Munchen versus Copenhagen. I think Bayern has already qualified to the next round, so Copenhagen, they are trying their possible best. If they can qualify for the UEFA Champions League next round, they may even get the third place to play in the Europa League. So I think going to this game, they will do their possible best to at least earn a point. But we all know that Bayern is a giant club in Europe, and they have been doing this over the past years. They don't draw, they don't lose in the group stage. So going to this game, I think it's a win game for Bayern. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Bayern. Bayern 2, Copenhagen 1. Moving on to the next game is between Benfica versus Inter Milan. Looking at Inter Milan this season, they look favorite. I mean, if you look at their team right now, they look like a serious club which want to do something this season. And going to this game, going to Portugal to face Benfica, we all know Benfica is good, but this season they are not the Benfica that we used to know. So going to this game, I'm predicting a narrow win for Inter Milan. Inter Milan 2, Benfica 1. And moving on to the next game is between Braga versus Union Berlin. Going to this game, I think Braga playing home, they may prove stubborn to at least earn a point. We all know Union Berlin this season in the UEFA Champions League hasn't been great. They haven't impressed enough. But going to this game, I think it will be a tough game, and I'm predicting a high-scoring game. I'm predicting a 3-2 win for Union Berlin. Union Berlin 3, Braga 2. Yes, and moving on to the next game is between Real Madrid versus Napoli. We all know Real Madrid has already qualified for the next stage in the UEFA Champions League. And going to this game against Napoli at Santiago Bernabeu, I think this game is already a done deal. But Napoli going to this game, I'm not sure they are going to do their possible best to earn a point. Despite Osimhen, their key player, key striker, will not play this game. And going to this game, I think Madrid is going to win. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Real Madrid. Real Madrid 2, Napoli 1. Moving on to the last game in UEFA Champions League Round 5 is between Real Sociedad versus Salzburg. Going to this game, we all know Real Sociedad this season have proving that their side that they can impress, and going to this game against Salzburg, I think it's a must-win game for Real Sociedad, and I'm predicting a 2-0 win for Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad 2, Salzburg 0. Yeah, so these are my predictions for UEFA Champions League Group Stage Round 5. If you're new and subscribed to the channel, put on the notification bell, like this video. My like target for this video is 100 likes. Like this video, comment your predictions below. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye.